then, just for your
Madam Chair,
information.
Madam Chair, point of clarification. The ultimate goal is to clean them up and make them look, but yes, but sell them, not.
Just for your information, Taylor's always been the place to be.
I lived here for 32 years there. I played all my Little League games here. And, a lot of my friends, family grew up here.
Madam Chair, I kind of want to focus on our protection as a city. So I don't know if this would be for Gus, the mayor, or Shed. The first thing is the $3 million surety bond. So would that protect us in a case if they decided, you got to think about these things, that if they got 10 houses in and said, hey, we're out of money, we got to go. Because I'm not quite sure on what that does. I'm looking for protection as far as what do we have, and I'd also like some clarification on how the process goes. Do we buy the homes and he reimburses us, or, so number one, I would like to know what protection we have as a city. If they fall, if you guys, unfortunately, tough times come around and you guys are 10 houses in and say, hey, we're out of money, we got to go. I love this idea, but I want to make sure we're protected as a city, that we're not left holding, so I do want to know that, and I want to know the process of, again, I know we buy the homes and then either transfer,
Thank you, Councilman Woolley. That's a very good point, and with regard to Section 2.09 and the performance bond, that was my feeble attempt to try to protect the city. But in working with Sheila, while she was on vacation, by the way, and our risk management team, we got the form of the AIA bond, performance bond, and then after I read it, I realized that we are, although we're the owner of the house, we really aren't contracting, and we're not paying the developer to rehab the house. So we are re-examining Section 2.09, and I've had some brief discussion with the developer prior to this meeting, as well as at the meeting tonight, that Section 2.09, what we more than likely will do is require what typically the building department does when you're doing a rehab is a letter of credit or a cash bond for every property that you do. So that's how we're going to address the protection. So if in fact everything goes to hell in a handbasket, as they say, and the developer walks away, and we have 10 homes left that have not been rehabbed, well, number one, we own the property. Okay, so that is collateral and security in and of itself. Number two, we will be able to then draw down on the letter of credit and hire a third party to complete the rehabilitation process, and then either allow a third party to come in and market it, or the city could market it if the developer has since gone out of business. That's what we're working on. Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I just wanted, like I said, I just wanted to make sure that we did have some sort of protection in that case, because I know it has happened before with other companies, and I just want to make sure that, because there is cost, if that did happen, we would take ownership of the home. However, we'd have to pay cut the grass and do all that other stuff, which is a concern,
So what we're doing,
figure that in the amount.
no, we have, and RT is the only developer that has really come and is willing to participate with us and the city in working with us to develop this agreement, so it's a little more robust on behalf of the city of Taylor and a little more Taylor-friendly, if you will. So, first of all, the developer, if this development agreement is approved tonight and the resolution is approved tonight, will be placing, if they haven't already placed, the $380,000 into escrow, where the city will use to purchase the property. So number one, the city is going to own the property right off the get-go, okay? And the city will retain title in the property until the developer rehabs that property and gets a certificate of occupancy, and at that point, we will then transfer that property to the developer. And we have worked with Sheila's team again on the insurance provisions, and there are two little tweaks to the agreement that you have that I will hand out that just makes our insurance coverage a little more robust and protects the city. And that's, so we have that collateral. We also have, if they go into an eviction proceeding and we decide to transfer the property prior to its being rehabbed, we will place a lien on the title, probably to the amount of what we anticipate the construction rehabilitation would be. So they would not be able to market that title until our lien was paid off.
Madam Chair, you just talked about there was a 2.9.
2.09, yes, Jeff.
So is that going to be changed tonight? Or
Yes.
We're going to do that now, make an amendment?
Yes.
Is that 2.09 or 2.07?
I'm sorry, that might be, I thought it was 9.
9 is the renter's.
I apologize, you're absolutely correct. I'm new with this corporation council stuff. It is 2.07, I have it highlighted right here. I apologize.
No, that's fine. Figured that's right.
So the revised 2.07 is going to call for a letter of credit, or did you say there was a couple of options that could be agreed upon between city and developer?
You know what, the mayor suggested that he wants a letter of credit, so,
Yeah, I just wasn't sure if there's a new amendment, how it was specifically going to be, I guess is what I'm asking.
Madam Chair, we'll need to amend it tonight in the development agreement. If something needs to change moving forward, if that's something that after looking at it with risk management, we need to make an alteration, we would have to bring it back to City Council. So what I'm recommending is the best form tonight that gives the city the best protection, we incorporate that tonight if we're considering passing that resolution. And I believe based on the dialogue I've had with Court Counsel, that letter of credit is the better mechanism.
And are you okay with that as well?
Well, we will work with the city. Our goal is, and we don't have any problem with protecting the city. There are other mechanisms that we haven't even talked about that might be just as adequate or even better. We can ask for some funds, we can do other things, we can do a combination.
But for now, this will be a letter, tonight we will amend a letter of credit.
But we're comfortable with that, and if that turns out that we can do something different, then we're going to have to revisit with the council.
To your question, just for clarification, yes, if we sit down with Dan and Shadi and we determine that there is a better vehicle that provides both protection for us and adequate liquidation for them, then we would bring it back as an amendment to the agreement with City Council. I want to address one more thing, because when I looked at this initially, I told these guys the story. My first reaction is why would we even get involved in this? And then after you looked at all the pros, that if you have a willing partner, as this group is, you want to. This is a great chance to employ some very good sound public policy and clean up a lot of ugly stuff. But we looked at the demolition side of it, and I know that with this group, there's been a lot of discussion about demolishing homes that need to come down. So we originally approached them with a ratio, and we said, for every 20 homes, you have to take down one. And initially, the concept was fine, and it would have get us to the same number of tearing down 5 or 6 homes. But after looking at the property IDs and the structural integrity of these locations, they came back and said, they're all pretty good shape, they're ugly and they need some cleanup, but structurally they're sound. They don't appear to have foundation problems, the real mainstay that they look at. So would you be receptive to not tearing down homes? And they came up with the alternative proposal, which is they'll pay to have, or their team will tear down 5 other locations outside of the properties that they own. What it does is it allows us to accomplish the goal of tearing down homes that probably need to come down at a higher priority. And number 2, it allows them to keep homes on, or us to keep homes on the tax roll, which is also a benefit. So really that compromise worked well, and it's another component that when I say that they tailored this to Taylor, it was a great compromise that gave us the best of both worlds.
You already give it to us.